Hillary, thank you. Hillary Vaughn in Washington. Joining us now, Fox News contributor Liz Peek and Wall Street Journal editorial board member Allysia Finley. Great to see both of you. Musk, DOGE, the president have not started tackling, Liz, the biggest expenses yet, Medicare, Medicaid, and the like. However, when you're talking about working around the edges and already in a few weeks finding $55 billion and weeding out fraud and abuse, it shows a level of seriousness about the financial calamity that we're in. $3.5 trillion budget deficit over the last 2 years. And I think so far in the first quarter, it's $838 billion hole. This is a signal to anybody who has to lend or wants to lend the United States of America money that we're serious about getting the financial house in order.
Yeah, and I think it's a very big message to taxpayers that we care about where your money goes.
Yeah.
I mean, when are taxpayers going to say, wait a minute, I didn't want to fund all these people who are dead. I don't want to give dead people Social Security. There are millions of people over the age of 110 receiving Social Security payments. Guess what, folks? Those people don't exist. The amazing thing to me, and I cannot get over this, we all talk about it, how can Democrats stand in the way of this? They're either for fraud and abuse or they're against it. Choose a side, folks. My guess is one is political suicide, and I think that's the one they've chosen. One number, $516 billion last year went to programs that had not been authorized. That doesn't mean that that Congress didn't want them to exist. They were too lazy to authorize them. That DOGE EO that Trump issued said any unauthorized program is fair game. Boy, they are just getting started, because that $516 billion, that is ripe for Musk Group to go in and say, you know what, this program wasn't authorized, it's gone. And that's just, that is Congress being lazy and inept. But guess what? That's the story here.
Yeah, no, Elon says he's not snooping. Probably a lot of taxpayers would like more snooping.
Yeah, we're ready to snoop.
And you're talking about Democrats, kind of an odd situation now, opposing an effort to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Allysia, how about our industry? You've been writing about how a lot of media folks, they seem to want to acknowledge government fraud, except when Elon's talking about it, which I guess means that with the New York Times, for those who choose to subscribe, not recommended, but if they do, they get two papers in one.
That's right. There was a hilarious story early last week, that said, well, Elon Musk didn't produce any immediate evidence of fraud. Well, then a few days later, the New York Times ran another story about a Justice Department settlement with a woman who had put in for 1,200 fraudulent pandemic-era tax credits to bill taxpayers $100 million. Now, she only actually got 33 million of that, but it just shows that how rife fraud is in the system, yet the media continues to essentially say, oh, no, it doesn't exist.
James extrapolated the money that we know from just the Government Accountability Office, that on the high end, it's more than $500 billion every year in just fraud. That's not including the waste and abuse. But if you use the 20% fraud rate that was talked about last week, you're looking at fraud closer to, based on total government spending, of $1.5 trillion.
Yeah.
I lose my mind. But Liz, listening to all of these Democrats, we don't work for you. You work for us. Stop talking to us like we're on your payroll. That's why I'm yelling.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, look, they are freaking out because they know an awful lot of stuff is going to get uncovered that they are party to. And I'm not accusing anyone of purposely promulgating fraud, but you know that they're purposely sending money to Democrat-allied organizations as via USAID. That's really what came out of that. All the NGOs that are friendly to Democrats, helpful to Democrats, getting tons of taxpayer money. They're really freaking out now because DOGE is apparently about to go to the SEC. Well, what does the SEC deal with? Trading and insider trading and problems like that. So when they start going through those files, baby, watch out, because there are a lot. Musk keeps talking about how did this congressman who makes $200,000 a year end up with $14 million? We all want to know.
Okay, so I'm looking at him going to the SEC, and it's not a huge agency.
That's
so
right.
in terms of spending, but you think he's targeting waste that they impose on the rest of us? In terms of, I mean, I could start a list with the climate rule for starters enacted under the Biden SEC. But do you think that's where he's going?
That never went in. I don't.
The
think
worst part didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But plenty of bad stuff did get through. And
but you're right. It's not a place where there's an enormous cache of budget. So the question is, what are they looking for?
Now, we don't want to downplay waste. I mean, fraud gets a lot of attention, obviously, but Allysia, you pointed out, waste is significant as well.
Oh, right. And then just a case in point is the FEMA reimbursing New York City $337 per day to house a migrant. That's over $130,000 a year, twice the average household spending. Okay.
We're kind of getting a bargain, right? Because sometimes you pay $1,000 for a hotel room.
Oh, yeah, that's essentially what Associated Press said, was that, Trump was exaggerating by saying that they were paid luxury rates just because they weren't paid $1,000 per day, which is what some hotels in Down and Tribeca charge for the celebrities.
This is only a few weeks into this.
Yeah.
And can you imagine what Musk and team find out and the level of outrage as it begins to rise like a tide across this country? Because what you asked about the Democrat reaction, are you standing up for fraud and waste and abuse? Yeah, they are, because they're losing their control and their grip on this grift and this power and this funding, which is money that has gone to spread their liberal ideology and this hate cult literally around the globe.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Warren really cracks me up. She's always talking about how Elon Musk is not accountable. What is the thing she is most known for? Creating the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has no accountability whatsoever. That is her signature achievement. So spare me if I'm not too excited about the account. And by the way, Musk is 100% accountable. He's accountable to Donald Trump, who is accountable to the voters. If we don't like it, this won't go forward. But guess what? So far, I think I keep being told by people it's like Christmas morning. I wake up and wow, now they're going after this. Now they're discovering that. That's the way I feel. This has never happened before.
And this is all constitutional law.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
Chutkin's.
Yeah.
This is the power of the executive branch and the advisors to the chief executive.
Yeah, and the nice hats off to Obama appointee Chutkin today. Now, going down as this case gets resolved, maybe not a good thing, but in knocking down the states seeking that restraining order, she said your generalized fear about DOGE is not enough. You need evidence in this court. And so that would be a good start, right? Just demanding some evidence behind all these lawsuits.
Right. A TRO, not for 1 hour. Allysia, it was great to see you. Allysia Finley and Liz Peek. Thank you both, ladies, so much.
Thanks for having me.